for our 2-year-old's room for November week 3. All month long we're asking, who can you thank for everything? And our bottom line is, I can thank God for everything. And our memory verse is, I will give thanks to the Lord with my whole heart. Psalm 111:1. So this month, all month long, we've been talking about who we can give thanks to. So the first week we said we can thank God for our family. Last week we could thank God for our friends. This week we're going to go to the book of Exodus where the Israelites are given manna, and we're going to thank God for food. So the little summary says, I can thank God for food. Next we see how the Israelites learned to truly depend on God and be thankful for every bite of food they ate. These people had to wait for food to drop from the sky, literally. We can thank God for our food too. So jumping over to our leader guide, we would love for you to check in at the garage door room at 8:20 and 10:20. I know that 10:20 time is hard because it's right after first service, but it is such an amazing time before first service. It's so great. At 8:20, so many people come to pray, and I just love hearing from everybody. So if you could be in there at 8:20 and 10:20 to pray, that would be phenomenal. We also have donuts and coffee, and then if you can just make sure that you're in your room by 8:30 and 10:30, that way you're ready for kiddos to check in. Kiddos start checking in at 8:40 and 10:40. They can free play with the toys until about 5 after. So at 9:05 and 11:05, start to clean up, and then you've got a couple intro activities that you can do. The first one, you've just got some of those little people, and we're gonna have, I have to go get it some sandpaper, and you're just gonna have them walk across the sandpaper. So you could have all the kids sit over at your circle with you, and you're gonna say, okay friends, come sit with me. We have some people and some sand, so we're gonna pretend there is a place with no grass or no trees and very little water, and all you see is sand. This is called a desert. So we're going to pretend that these people are walking through the desert. It's very hot in the desert, and sometimes it's hard to walk on the sand. So I'm going to call you up, and you're going to make your person. Can you make them walk in the desert? And today we're going to hear a story from the Bible about people who walked in a desert. It's hard to find food in the desert, and I can't wait to see the amazing thing that we thank God for today in our Bible story. So you could just have them all sit around the circle and one at a time call them to walk a person through the little sandpaper as they go through the desert. That's one interactivity you can do. Another interactivity that you can do is there we've got this whole tub with food, play food, bowls, all kinds of stuff in there. So you can just put this out and say, okay friends, I'm hungry. So let's make dinner. I want you guys to use the food in this bucket, and you're going to make a meal with your friends. So you just put the bucket in the middle of the circle and just let kids play with the food and make meals and just pretend and say, you guys are such good cooks. Well, today we're going to hear a Bible story about some people who got food in a very special way. So I'm so excited for our Bible story. So you can do one of those interactivities. You can do both of them just to get kids thinking that today we are going to be talking about food and people who are walking in the desert. Then at 20 after, 9:20 and 11:20, you are going to go out to large group to hear the large group story. When you get back from the large group story, you have a little memory verse activity that you can do. So we've got the little tunnel right here that the kids can go through, and at the end of the tunnel where they come out, you're going to have some of the yellow crinkle paper on the floor. So you're going to say, okay friends, you're going to take turns crawling through the tunnel while we say our memory verse. And then look, there's manna on the floor outside the tunnel, just like our Bible story. So as they go through, you're going to have them say, the rest of the kids will say, I will give thanks to the Lord with my whole heart. And then afterwards, you're going to say, okay, guys, the people were hungry and God gave them food in a special way. And we can thank God for our food. So who can you thank for everything? I can thank God for everything. So that's how they're going to practice their memory verse this week. Then you have a little application activity. So what you're going to do is you've got the parachute, and you're going to ask kiddos to stand around the parachute with you and pick up a section, and you're going to have them shake their arms so the parachute moves really fast. And what you're going to say is, God gave food to the people in our Bible story. He put manna for them on the ground. So we're going to play with the parachute, and we're going to put manna on the parachute, which is just going to be the yellow crinkle paper again. And we're going to bounce it high so we can thank God for our food. And this might be something that you save for the end, kind of as service is ending. Maybe as parents are coming, this is an easy wrap-up activity that you can do at the very end. Then you've got your little craft activity. So what this says to put tissue paper on there. I think what I'm going to do is just get sandpaper and cut out little strips of sandpaper, and the kids can glue their sandpaper onto this. And Then it says, and then they're going to sprinkle manna on it. So I'm not sure what I'm going to do for that yet. I might get actual sprinkles, and you guys can just put like a little glue dot on their, like a little glue on their paper, and we'll sprinkle sprinkles on it, or we might just put some of the yellow crinkle paper, and that can be the manna. But I think the kids will really enjoy having a little strip of sandpaper on there to represent that they're in the desert, and then we'll sprinkle something on for manna. I'll either get actual sprinkles or little yellow crinkle paper. So you're going to say, okay, friends, today we heard a story about Israelites when they were hungry in the desert. And in our story, God would send the Israelites bread from heaven every morning. So first we're going to make them in a desert, and we're going to put our sandpaper out, and then we're going to sprinkle some manna on the ground because God provided food. So when the Israelites were in the desert, they were hot and sweaty and hungry, and God told them that he would give them bread from heaven. And when they woke up, they could eat it. They were so excited and thankful to see the food, and they knew that they could trust God to give them the food that they needed. And we can thank God too because he gives us the food that we need. So who can you thank for everything? I can thank God for everything. So that is it for this week, friends. Talking about thanking God for all of our food. Love it. Such a great story, especially leading up to the week before Thanksgiving when we can thank God for all of that yummy Thanksgiving food. Thank you guys so much for serving. I'm so, so grateful for you all. You're just amazing. Thank you for being part of this team, and we'll see you on Sunday.